deer skinned. Everything's removed, front legs, and the head, and the hide. Now, we're going to approach this animal and quartering it up. First thing I want to address is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of this damaged area right here, just so that I don't cross-contaminate by accident. So what I'm going to do is you can see the damage, you can always cut less. Okay, it's not that bad. Just cut. There's no damage right here. There's no bloodshot. You're looking for bloodshot. There'll be little dark spots. It looks like it's bruised. I'm just going to pull this off and just kind of flay it. No, that's fine. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here now. And like I said, when it comes to contamination, don't be afraid to cut some of the meat away. It's just, it can ruin all your meat if you get that mixed in. So I'm just going like that. And just using my fillet knife there again, that's very handy for this, to cut away all this, it's dirt and whatever, something that you can't identify. Be careful when you come in and cut here, here's your tenderloins. If you cut into those, this animal's not that big, so I'm just going to come in here and just make sure that that's separated. And there again, it's not that big of a deal, but just try to be careful. Okay, that wound is right there, so I'm just going to go ahead and just come down right there, cut over by it, down the foul of the rib cage, and there we go. We've gotten rid of the bad part, and it's disposable. I'm not going to address this spot here. This is in the rib cage. I'm not going to get any meat off of this small of an animal. A buck, you're going to want to get fussy and probably, it's going to be worth it to take the meat out, like literally between the ribs. I have had venison ribs. If they're prepared properly, they do turn out pretty good, but as you can see, they have lots of fat between the layers of meat. And you got a layer of meat, layer of fat, layer of meat. So generally, unless they've been marinated for a long time, they don't taste so good. And there just isn't that much meat on them. I can show you here. Find a rib. Right there's a rib. Cut down it. Cut down the other one. There, cut between the ribs. And there you go. Kind of looks like bacon. They're just, there is just nothing. This is all fat. That's a little bit of meat, a little bit of meat. For my case, it's not any worth like putting in the hamburger and putting all that fat and possibly a gamey taste in your meat product. Okay, I've gotten rid of the damage on this side. Now I'm going to address this side. I've got some fat and stuff here that, this part here is exposed to the ground if you're dragging, maybe using a four-wheeler. I'm just going to go ahead and just remove this just to keep cross-contamination down, like that. That way, if I did happen to, when I was cutting, it did happen to brush up against it, now my risks are a lot lower. All right, now we've turned the deer around, and on a doe, you're going to have a significant amount of fat here. This is a doe, a small yearling doe. On an older doe, you're going to have, I've seen it all the way out to like 1.5 inches of fat here when they're under ideal conditions. No stress, lots of food during summer available. So you'll have to cut a lot of this way. And typically I will cut a lot of this way now. You can do it at the table after we remove the legs, but you can see right here, I'm just filleting it. Just turn the knife in there and just kind of fillet it off. Just to get rid of it now. I'm right here over my garbage pail, just like that. You're not trying to get it all, you're just trying to get rid of some of it so you don't have to bring it to the table. And there's a little bit of hair connected to that fat here and there, and it's a good time to get rid of it. Just there's no super technique to this besides basically just filleting it off to clean it up. Okay, you're much better to take it off here than to bring this, put it in a bag, and if there's hair on there that you didn't get off and it gets all over everything, or it gets on your cutting board at your table where you're butchering. All right, on the next part here now, is you'll notice you look down to the vertebrae here, and you can see that line, it's backbone. What we're going to do is we're going to come in here, we're going to take these back straps out. On this animal, they're very small, but it's going to give you a real good reference as to how to do this. Working on a smaller animal, it makes you very more detail oriented. I want to get as much meat off of this animal as I can. I'm gonna go for very little waste. If you notice this spot right here, here's your tenderloins, all right? And then you follow this around right here. That's about where you're gonna cut, all right? So that's why, if you want, you can go ahead and take these out now, and I can show you that. You can almost rip these out with your bare hands, but right here's the vertebrae. Here's what I do. I just come in here, and you just cut. It's gonna stop at the ribs. There's ribs underneath it, all right? And literally, you can rip these out with your hands, all right? And then come right here, where it comes in, come up from that notch. Just make a cut, like that, and you'll see it. See how it peels away? All right? And when you get to the bone, I mean, there's a bone right there. It stopped. So you're as deep as you can go. Just reach up here and grab it, and then do the same thing. There's going to be a little bit of connective tissue on this, but not a whole lot. There it goes. Now it's coming right out by hand. Once you get it separated, see that? I'm peeling it. If it does stick, just reach over your knife, touch it with your fillet knife, peel it out. Have yourself a trash bag. I'm going to soak these in salt water to clean them up. They've got a little bit of dirt on them here and there. And typically what we do is we don't grind these. We just cut them up, dice them up, cook in some butter and onion and stuff, and cook them right away when we're butchering the deer. Okay, what I do is I just throw my meat inside a plastic bag. Easiest thing for me to do is I throw it in there. Keep it off to the side so the hair's not falling into the bag. Keep it offside and opened up. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit here. I left a little bit of fat here from when this animal was gutted. I'm going to cut it out of the way right now. Like I said, never be afraid to be overly fussy and get the animal as clean as you can. There again, I'm going to go like this, make sure that's cut. I'm going to come up in here where this triangle is, come up in there and just cut at an angle down to the bone. And when you do that, put your finger on it, do a little bit of peeling, and there it goes. It breaks loose. There again, you can grab it, start peeling. And when you peel it down so far, it's going to come right out. All right, we'll clean these up. Now I've got those out of the way, now I can do whatever I want and I'm not going to ruin these. Okay, we have the tenderloins removed. We're going to turn the animal around now. And you can see where these V's are at. Right here, you can see the line of the leg coming up. And what we're going to do, there's a bone right here. And you can, don't be afraid to prod it. Right there, see that? That knife is going in a 1/4 inch. You want to come right in front of that bone. And just go right towards the vertebrae, just like that. Okay? We'll do the same thing on the other side. It should be approximately at the same height. Oop, I think I got in front of it on this one. Yep, I did. You saw it, I was coming here and I was in front of it. That bone is right there. See, I can't push that. I tried to come here and it stopped at the bone. It should be able to go right to the vertebrae right there. So you want that just like that. Now that you got that, just like kind of like filleting a fish, you can make a cut nice and right up against that vertebrae. I'm doing it on one side first, okay, like that. I'm going to lay an edge on my knife. I have a stone and I have a steel that I use. I have this thing that's really old, but it's a stone. And for really getting aggressive with this, so what I do is I'm just going to go like this, nice and easy. I'm going towards me, but I'm just going to go nice and easy. Very aggressive. You don't have to wail on it really hard. 4 or 5 strokes on each side. Now I'm going to turn right around and hit this with a steel. It does a kind of a final burr removal. Nice and easy. A few strokes from that.